Hey you guys, welcome to the Kaizen Project. I am the Kaizen Man. Now I know it's been a little while since I made a video. I took a bit of a break. I've actually been really busy with some acting work that's been going on, and I will be talking a bit more about that in the coming videos. Today's video is about wine. Now, have you ever gone to a restaurant where you've been given a wine list and you're sitting there not knowing what is what? You see the wine list, you see Cabernet Sauvignon, you see Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, etc., etc. All of this jargon that's there in the wine world can be really confusing for someone who doesn't know that much about wine. Sometimes maybe if you're on a date, you know that your date is looking at you and they're judging you. They're judging you based on how much you know about your wine. They're judging you based on how confident you are when you're talking to your server or your bartender about the wine that you're gonna have. So if you've been in that situation before, this video is for you. Now keep in mind, the world of wine is essentially infinite, and many people have spent their entire lives studying wine. So this video is not gonna make you an expert. You're not gonna know everything that there is to know about wine. That's practically impossible. But you are gonna have a basic understanding of what wine is, what the differences are between red and white wine, and you will feel more confident ordering that bottle of wine or picking up a bottle of wine to be having a party. You'll know what you're getting. Let's start with the absolute basics. The most common types of wine are red and white wines. Red wines are made from red wine grapes, but a lot of people don't know this. White wine can also be made from red wine grape. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that if you're eating red meat, you order a red wine. If you're eating white meat like poultry or fish, then you typically order a white wine. Now, you might have heard that before, but do you know why that is? Well, there's actually a scientific reason behind that. You might have heard this word thrown around, and the word is tannins. Now, what are tannins and what do they have to do with wine? Well, I'll tell you. Tannins are compounds that are present inside the wine, and tannins come from the grape skins. So the reason why red wine has tannins and the white wine doesn't have tannins is because when wine is fermenting, if it's red wine, they leave the grape skins in those massive vats where the wine ferments. In the case of white wine, typically the grape skins are removed, so that's only the juice sits in the vat and there's no more contact with the grape skin, and therefore there's no color and there's no tannins. And what tannins do is they break down protein. So if you're eating a big steak, a big juicy ribeye, a New York strip loin, sirloin, the proteins in a steak are more complex than the proteins in a fish. You want to have a wine that's going to be high in tannins. An example of that kind of wine is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Typically, Cabernet Sauvignons are hugely popular in California. California reds are known to be big, bold, tannin heavy, leathery, and that's why people order a big steak, they order a Cabernet Sauvignon, because those two go together beautifully. You know that a wine has high tannins when you drink the wine and afterwards your mouth feels puckered and your palate feels really dry. That's when you know that the wine has high tannins, and that's typically a wine that you want to pair with some type of a red meat dish. On the other hand, if you're having a very light fish, say you're having a tilapia, and you drink a red wine with that, the red wine is gonna overpower the flavor of your dish. So what you ideally wanna have is the same level of intensity in the wine and the food that you're having. Which is why if you're having a tilapia or a nice light flaky fish, you would opt for, say, a Sauvignon Blanc. A Sauvignon Blanc is another really popular wine grape, typically grown in France, in New Zealand, lots of wine growing regions in the world, but Sauvignon Blanc comes from the Bordeaux region in France, which is famous for wines. Now, Sauvignon Blanc is described as the elegant, crisp, and fresh. Now keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, this video is not gonna make you an expert on wine, but it's just a starting point from where you can begin to grow your wine knowledge. And the best way to learn more about wine is just to go out and try. If you're going to a restaurant, don't be afraid to ask your server or your bartender for any suggestions that they might have. There's a wealth of knowledge out there, and I myself am learning about wine. It's something that I've enjoyed and I've tried to learn more about. And as I learn more, I definitely will be sharing more of that knowledge with you. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment with any questions or feedback that you might have. I miss you guys. It's great to be back, and I'm looking forward to making more videos for you. I have lots of really exciting stuff coming up for you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's the Kaizen Man, signing out.